Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be diving deeper into the Coda Hema, all of the changes that the developer made to this recycled weapon, and see if it's actually worth using in 2025. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and for that, just a couple of our usual free shots. The Coda Hema is basically the same as the regular Hema. It's a burst weapon, my friends. It's a projectile-based attack, as you can see, and it's going to be consuming free ammo from your magazine. You know why? Because it does free hits. So there you go, multi-shot not included. Outside of that, it's got this cool little gimmick. I don't know if you know the Hema, if your clan actually farmed it. If they didn't, that is understandable. Veterans will know exactly what I mean. Now, when you reload this one, oh, hold on, I should turn off invincibility so you see what happens to my health bar. Oh my god, take a look at my health bar, 1000 health, and if I reload, boom, it took my blood. And it's reloaded. So it's kind of like a vampire. Actually, once upon a time, we were using this one to get around the whole no self-damage thing for Chroma, so we can idle on hunt with him. But these are to that fun because they're allergic to self-damage in Warframe, like any other kindergarten level. Anyway, that's pretty much it in terms of functionality. Basically, this weapon will never run out of ammo. It's not a self-recharge weapon. It's a blood-sucking weapon. And that's the thing about the Hema. That's its kind of special thing. And now, of course, you might be wondering how much of a stat boost did we get from the regular Hema, I don't know, to the Coda Hema? And the answer is not a lot, actually, no. Now, of course, the Valence fusion thing, the bonus from your progenitor can go up to 60%, but keep in mind that you need a strong base for that 60% to actually feel all impactful and all whatnot. So fire rate got a massive increase from 5 to 5.33. The magazine from 60 to 72, same reload, same accuracy, same trigger. Critical chance has been buffed from 11 to 20. Critical multiplier also saw a 0.3x increase, and the status chance another 5% on top of that one. Damage has been increased, the base damage is by about 10%. Keep in mind that does not include the bonus from your progenitor. And that's pretty much it. Outside of that, it's just a regular old Hema. Now, this being a nemesis weapon, aka a Kuva weapon or a tenant weapon or a Coda weapon, whatever you want, you have the over-leveling trait. Increase this weapon's max rank by +2 with Forma up to 5 times for a possible max rank of 40, which is why my mod capacity is 80 out of 80, because you go into actions, you plug in that Orokin Catalyst, you get the double. Now, this being a brand new Coda weapon, we got one important addition. Valence Override. I just formatted my Coda weapon 5 times, which means I'm finally able to go to actions and use Valence Override. But in order to use it, I'm gonna need something important, a Elemental Vice. And there's 3 ways to obtain this one. You can either pay 20 plat for it, or you can get yourself your standing up with the Hex and then go to Eleanor Nightingale, browse wares. It costs 50,000 standing, so a pretty nice chunk there. Or you can get lucky and get this one by doing the brand new Archimedia. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about the Temporal Archimedia. After you get yourself the necessary item, it's very simple, you just activate Valence Override. Once you activate it, you can pick any element you want, and don't worry about your selection because this can be changed at any given point. You don't like the magnetic, you can go to heat, for example, and so on and so forth. Changing the element costs you nothing. But again, you will have to first Forma 5 times to be able to use Valence Override and get that Vice. Pretty cool, right? About Valence Fusion, you're gonna need another Coda Hema, but unfortunately right now in week 1, this is the launch week, we cannot buy duplicates. If you could buy duplicates, then you could fuse them together and make one big Hema, which would technically be the same size Hema, but you would have a better bonus. So there you go. Keep in mind the unique trait that we talked about earlier. This one drains up to 5% of Warframe self-reload. Headshots with this weapon have 5% lifesteal, so I guess you can use it to get your life back because there's not enough other ways to do that. But in any case, let's check out a standard build. And it's gonna be looking something like this. Galvanized Chamber, Galvanized Aptitude, and what the hell, Serration Leyzar? What have you been smoking, Leyzar? Because you know you got Galvanized Aptitude. And you're probably gonna be using a procker as well, or a primer, so you obviously don't need more flat damage. But contraire, mon frère. Did you know that Galvanized Aptitude actually applies multiplicative to the Hema? Did ya? Well, basically it works the same way as the regular Hema, which is why you do need some flat damage. Now, bear in mind, you don't need to go for Serration or Merciless. You can go one or the other, or you can even use a Warframe Arcane. The rest of the build at this point should be pretty self-explained. We're gonna be proccing a whole lot of heat. We're gonna be proccing some heat on our targets, and we also have Hunter Munitions. Keep in mind that the beauty of this one is still utterly brilliant, simply because it is outside of the whole proc priority. It doesn't care, it just wants crits. Speaking about crits, is 60% really enough? Well, Well, kinda, yeah, it is enough technically, but more importantly, if you factor in Avenger in that 45%, boom, over 100% crit chance. Hooray! Well, technically, exactly, 105% crit chance. As for the XL slot, you don't need to worry about something like rifle ammo mutation because it's just gonna suck you dry. Damn, I should really write the script for this. In any case, stabilizer is definitely not a bad idea, but of course, it is totally optional. Plug into this one, whatever you prefer. There you guys, a primer, you can use the Tacticore, you can use the Hellstrom, or use whatever else primer you prefer, my friends. I'm not here to judge, but I will recommend you a couple of things. Vital, Rad, Mag, and Electric, this is more of a general primer build for your Hema, so try this one on for size. Now, what are we gonna be shooting? We're gonna be shooting the relevant factions. What are the relevant factions? The Skaldra Battle Group. Level 205 with the Steel Path modifiers. Enable Lego. No Warframe buffs at this time, but we are using a primer. Oh yeah, high deal damage. I go for headshots to get my life back. This is the Hema, my friends. Now you meet the fat guy, shoot him in the belly to get rid of the overguard and shoot him in the back, like so. Just a little bit of blood sucking there. No problem. Look at all that beautiful damage over time. It is within execute range, and that's how you take care of the big unit of the Skaldra. Outside of that, as you can see, you have no issue in taking out your targets within a single volley. This is a volley, it is dead. This is a body shot volley. It's still gonna be dead thanks to the massive damage over time. Keep in mind that multiplicative thing that we talked about earlier, yeah? Look at that. Beautiful, fantastic, glorious. Now, of course, you might say, hold on, you are using Rifle Elementalist, but considering that Rifle Elementalist and the faction modifiers should be multiplicative to one another, shouldn't we be using that one as well? Well, the answer is yeah, technically you should be using that one as well. But thankfully for the Skaldra and the Techrot, we don't have faction modifiers, so you can use Roar instead if you want to. Now, that's pretty much it for the Skaldra. These are the more tougher targets from the relevant factions today, but let's spawn in the Techrot as well. Do a little bit of blood sucking and all that good stuff. Beautiful, fantastic. Believe it or not, she hits pretty hard. And she does heal you up. Look at all that fantastic damage. Have you seen my numbers, baby? They are awfully big. That's what... Anyway, that's not relevant at this point. Let's try one more faction. And by the way, this is a general use build. When you build heat, it's kind of general use. It's gonna be working for everybody. If you want to get really specific, then you gotta get down with each faction and see what they're vulnerable to. Maybe I want to build corrosive in case I want to deal specifically just with the Skaldra, or impact, because you know, I lost whatever bind I have left to begin with. Next, we're gonna be testing on the Murmur. These are vulnerable to electricity and radiation, but still, this is a heat build. Look at that. Beautiful, fantastic, glorious. What more do you want? It never runs out of ammo. It cannot be accused of being overly flashy because it's not. It doesn't have any fancy AoE abilities, so it's not gonna be your torrent or anything of the sort. But you know what? For a veteran such as myself that has suffered greatly while farming for the original Hema only to be disappointed by what the original Hema did, this is definitely a blast from the past, and I do enjoy playing with it. Are you in my position? Are you a new player? Well, there are plenty of better weapons for you to check out. You don't know which? Papa's got your back. Look at the cards right now. And speaking about backs, what do you know? Actual gameplay. How does the weapon perform in actual gameplay? Well, slightly better. You know why? Because in actual gameplay, it's going to be buffed by your Warframe. In this case, Citrine helps out with the damage by priming the targets. I even have a little primer with me, which is not really necessary if you're running Citrine, so you can do whatever you want with your companion thing. And that is mostly it. I can easily take out any of these targets level 160 Steel Path with a single volley. It's actually quite satisfying to do, believe it or not. Is it incarnate level of performance, bro? No. Not even in the same galaxy. However, that does not mean you cannot enjoy the weapon. That does not mean you cannot kill your targets. That does not mean that this cannot be a actual enjoyable experience. And quite efficient if your standards are very low. If your standards are very low, then it can be quite efficient. And that is mostly it in terms of performance. Honestly, I can stay here for quite a while and the weapon will be doing its job. For a single target, non-area of effect weapon, it has more than plenty oomph. And I do like the idea of never running out of ammo. Then again, there are recharge weapons that don't suck you dry, so there is that. Bear in mind. Still, there is one more thing that is quite relevant. What if an acolyte shows up, mama? What are we gonna do then? Kill it. The answer is kill it. Come here, Mr. Acolyte Torment. Wow, I really chunked him before he went invulnerable there. Look at that. Beautiful. And keep in mind, while I was using Citrine's 3, I did not use her 4. And that's the kind of performance you can expect on an Acolyte. And I do believe, my friends, that is pretty much it for the Coda Hema. Is it amazing? Is it stupendous? Is it glorious? Flavor-wise, sure. I guess you can say it is. In terms of performance, I'm afraid not, my friends. I mean, it's a single target weapon in an area of effect game. It was never gonna be stupendous, glorious, or fantastic. That does not stop me from enjoying the game with the Coda Hema. And again, if you're a veteran, you might be tempted to go for this one. Just be warned, if you want endgame material, bruh. It's not that kind of endgame. It's more of a old school kind of endgame, if you know what I mean. As always, my name is Lazer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. If you got any feedback for me, let me know in the comment section down below. Catch me live over on Twitch, where we do these things live, and you can have input on the builds, on the testing, on the everything. Promise I listen. No, really, I do. I'll catch you guys in the next one.